Acting Chief Justice Antonio Carpio says he would decline any nomination for Chief Justice. In an interview on ANC, Carpio says he will decline because of his dissenting vote on the quo warranto petition against Maria Lourdes Sereno. Carpio was among the 6 dissenters who voted to dismiss the quo warranto petition for being the improper way to remove a Chief Justice. His vote remained unchanged in the final Supreme Court ruling that affirmed Serrano's ouster. Carpio is the most senior member of the High Court. He has been acting Chief Justice since Sereno went on indefinite leave in March. Asked whether being named Chief Justice appeared to be no longer important to him at this point of his legal career, Carpio says, quote, "I'm going to retire, so I don't hanker for any position at this point." He is due to retire in October 2019, a little over a year away. Former Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Serrano accuses Court Administrator Midas Marquez of orchestrating the rallies of court employees who called for her resignation.
You know, I know exactly who led the rally. I know it was Midas Marquez. And these people have been with him for a long time. Huwag natin sigurong gamitin yung nauto, no? Self-interest is there. Barkadahan is there.
Loyalty.
Factionalism is there.
Marquez is an ally of the late former Chief Justice Renato Corona, who saw Sereno's entry to the court as a new period of difficulty and embarrassment. Later on, when Corona was ousted and she was appointed Chief Justice, Sereno sidelined Marquez from key functions such as the decentralization project and screening of applications for survivorship benefits. The employees who called for Sereno's resignation claimed their promotions and their benefits were always delayed during the 5 years that Sereno was Chief Justice. But Sereno insists she was a victim of propaganda. Sereno also accuses leaders of the House of Representatives of aiding the impeachment complaint against her by holding hostage the judiciary's budget.
And this is the message that Majority Floor Leader Rodolfo Fariñas had told Justice Peralta that Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez had ordered the suspension of the deliberations of the budget of the judiciary unless all the documents that the complainant requested from the Supreme Court would be released.
Fariñas dismisses Sereno's revelation as a lie. He calls it quadruple hearsay because the information was passed on by various sources. Almost all Supreme Court justices who interpolated young lawyer Jesus Falces III Tuesday on the same-sex marriage petition pointed out procedural flaws. Falces sought to declare as unconstitutional the provisions in the family code that limit a marriage to a man and woman only. He argued that these violate the constitutional right to equal protection of laws. Associate Justice Francis Hardalesa said he is inclined to dismiss the case because it violated the hierarchy of courts. Hardalesa also asked, why not wait for same-sex marriage to be allowed by Congress or the Constitutional Consultative Committee or CONCOM instead of the Supreme Court? Hardalesa also noted that the sponsor of the bill in the House of Representatives is Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez. He said that is clout as clout can be. Hardalesa and Associate Justice Lucas Bersamin said that the case for same-sex marriage should be threshed out in the lower courts first because it deals with factual issues. The Supreme Court is not a trier of facts. Falces' legal standing in filing a petition was also scrutinized. Justices argued that Falces as lead plaintiff should be of the same strong legal standing as a gay couple who were brought in as interveners. As a single gay man, Falces has not been denied the right to marry. Associate Justice Marvic Leonen warned Falces of risks in filing the petition at this time when institutions may not be ready yet. Leonen pointed out that in other countries, same-sex marriage battles were won only after a rigorous political process, such as tackling it in Parliament first and consultations with other institutions like the Church. Associate Justice Teresita Leonardo de Castro, for her part, said allowing same-sex marriage would complicate gender-specific laws on marriages. The United States withdraws from the United Nations Human Rights Council after condemning the hypocrisy of its members and its alleged unrelenting bias against Israel. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley said, "For too long, the Human Rights Council has been a protector of human rights abusers and a cesspool of political bias." Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said, "The Council's continued and well-documented bias against Israel is unconscionable." Washington also believes the Council comes up short on criticizing flagrant abuses by U.S. opponents like Venezuela and Cuba. Haley and Pompeo insisted the United States would remain a leading champion of human rights. The announcement came after UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Zeid Ra'ad Al Hussein rebuked Trump over the practice of splitting up migrant families detained on the Mexican border. The Geneva-based body was established in 2006 to promote and protect human rights worldwide. It often clashed with U.S. priorities. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu welcomes the U.S. move, branding the council a biased, hostile, anti-Israel organization that has betrayed its mission of protecting human rights. Independent watchdog Human Rights Watch criticized the move. Its executive editor Kenneth Roth said the Human Rights Council has played an important role in such countries as North Korea, Syria, Myanmar, and South Sudan, but all Trump seems to care about is defending Israel.